Hi everybody, welcome back to Cordova's Kitchen. Today we are going to make an orange sickle poke cake. And oh my goodness, is it awesome. Right here you see that I put a baggie on my hand just to save my hand from getting all grimy from the butter. But that's just an easy tip to do, and then you can just pull it off your hand and throw it away instead of getting your hands all buttered up. And then another trick is, instead of using flour, right here I'm using just a plain white cake from Walmart. And instead of using flour to flour my pan, I just take a scoop of the powdered mix from the cake mix and I use that to flour my pan. And then that way you don't have all that flour at the bottom of your cake, and it doesn't change the flavor. And that is just what I have done for years, and it just works out perfectly and super quick. So right here I'm just making sure I dust all the sides, make sure everything is covered really well so the cake doesn't stick. And it usually always turns out super good. I just dump the extra flour from the cake back in the mixture there. Made a little bit of a mess. Here I just put the cake mix in there. Now here on my cake mix, this called for a half a cup of oil. Now your cake mix, you are going to follow your directions on your cake. So what mine is will probably be different from yours unless you buy the same cake box that I have here. Now here mine calls for 4 egg whites. So these are eggs from our chickens. I took that paddle off so that way you could see what I was doing a little bit easier. And you're just going to rock it back and forth there and just get the egg whites in your bowl. Now, I'm not the best at this, and I should have done it in a bowl. And because as you will see here in a minute, I dropped the whole egg white inside the the bowl. I think it's on this one here. So, yep, there it went. If that happens to you, no big deal. Just, I tried to get it out, but I didn't want to fool with it, so I just left it in there. So it won't hurt anything. So, and this is the last egg. This one I'm a little bit more careful with, but the only purpose for only using the egg whites is just so your cake mixture, so your cake turns out white instead of yellow. So in here I just get the paddle back on my mixer and just start it slowly at first so you don't wear your mixture and make a mess all over your kitchen. But just give that a good mix. And then after that, we are going to pour it in our greased and floured 9 by 13 baking dish. Just doing a little cleanup while we're waiting for the mixture to mix really well. And I don't know about you all, I have done this for years of when I know everything is mixed really well, I like to okay, here I'm not doing it. Okay, that's on the part that's coming up. But a lot of times if it's more of a thick mixture, I will keep my beater on low while I'm raising it up super slowly, and then I turn it off just so that way it helps get the stuff off the paddle. Just getting that out of the way and pouring it in our dish. And I already have my oven preheated to 350 degrees. So we are just gonna get all of that out there. And if you see something in my pan, I ended up, and I did find an eggshell in there. So I think it's when I dropped the egg yolk in there. So when I was off camera, I made sure and I pulled that out. But here I just put it on the middle rack in the oven, and it is going to bake in my oven. Now your oven might be different, but in mine it takes 25 minutes exactly. Now here I have 1 cup of water in my pan, and I'm going to bring that to a boil. And I also have 1 3-ounce box of jello. Now, if you don't like orange, you can use any flavor that you would like. I've made it with strawberry, cherry, watermelon. Watermelon is really good. But my favorite is the orange. I don't know what it is about the orange. I just love that one the best. Now, after it comes to a boil, you're just gonna keep stirring it really, really well. I turned off the heat. You don't need it on any longer, but you're just stirring it up really well until all of the mixture is dissolved. Just keep stirring. And then after that, we are going to put a 1/2 cup, make sure it's only a 1/2 cup of cold water. And I do have 3 pieces of ice in there just to cool it off a little bit faster. And then stir that up. Now, when the cake comes out of the oven, we are just going to take it right out. Of course, stick your toothpick or knife in or whatever in your cake to make sure it comes out clean, to make sure your cake is baked all the way. And then after that, we are going to take a spoon. Okay, I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. Okay, here is a block of cream cheese. We will go back to that jello mixture in a minute. I just scrape off and get every little bit out that I can. And here I am going to wrestle with my paddle. Sometimes I get that thing right on there, and then sometimes I fight with it. But anyway, make sure you have some room temperature cream cheese, or almost room temperature, and mix that up really, really well. And then I turn it off and I give the sides a little bit of a scrape down here. And then we are going to get, excuse me, we are going to get a teaspoon of vanilla and put that in our mixture. We're going to cream that together again. I was trying to think of what I was looking for here. Then we are going to use some powdered sugar. And we are going to put a cup, 1 cup of powdered sugar into the mixture as well. I went to find my measuring cup. My measuring cup is clean, so that's why I wasn't worried about dipping into the bag. Okay, now we're going to give that a mix really, really good. And be careful here because you might wear the sugar. Give it a really, really good mix. It goes pretty quickly. After all that powdered sugar is mixed in really, really well, then scrape down your sides again. Make sure you get all the way to the bottom too, because sometimes the cream cheese likes to stick to the very, very bottom. And then we are going to put the whole container, just small container, of Cool Whip or whip topping, whichever you call it. Put the whole container in. This is what gives it that light and fluffy texture to your frosting and makes it super good mixed in with that cream cheese. You can also use the same recipe to top any cake that you make. Just mix it up really, really good. I'm just kind of cleaning up here as I go. Okay, just scrape down your bowl again. Then I give it one last mix here. Make sure everything is incorporated really, really well. Here is where I just very, very low and then turn it off really quick. Don't recommend that, but that's just something I do. It helps get most of the stuff off of your paddle. So it's less work that you have to scrape off. Now, as you will see here in just a minute, you will see little hands and a little face that pops in, waiting to have the leftovers on the paddle. When I am making something sweet like that, they love to take the paddle to get all the goodies off of it. I'm sure you all have some little ones around that likes to do the same thing. And he comes back for the bowl as well, and he takes all of it and he gets out every little drop. That is my grandson Kai. Okay, now we're going back to the jello mixture. I am pulling the cake out of the oven. Test it with a knife or toothpick to make sure it comes out clean. Sorry about that noise there. And my pan is hot. It just came straight from the oven. Now I'm going to use the end of a wooden spoon, and we're just going to start poking holes, hence the name poke cake. So that is where all the yumminess from the jello mixture is going to go into. I love this cake because I love the coldness of it, because after you pour the jello over it, then it is going to go in the refrigerator for a good hour, hour and a half. So just give your mixture a little stir there, and then you're just gonna try to equally pour the jello mixture all over the cake, and it's gonna go down in all of those holes that you made. And then when it goes in the refrigerator, it's gonna gel up, and it's just gonna give it a wonderful, cool, refreshing taste, especially for the summertime. Okay, now right here, I am just gonna grab it and put it in the refrigerator. Okay, it has been in the refrigerator for a little over an hour. And also make sure you put your frosting that you make in the refrigerator while you're waiting for your cake to cool down as well. And then you can just put all your frosting, every bit of it that you just made, and put that all over the top. Okay, we'll probably be coming back to get that one as well to finish that off. Just get it all over your cake, and it's nice and thick, has a nice texture to it. And then as soon, everything is cold right now, so your cake is cooled off and on the cool side, and your frosting is cold as well from being in the refrigerator. And so after this, you are ready to cut into it, or you can stick it back in the refrigerator and let it sit in there a little while longer. But I like to put it back in the refrigerator if nobody's eating any at the moment, and it just keeps it nice on the gelled side, which makes it really good. Now here, I'm just cutting into it. I just cut all the slices up, good sized pieces. And believe me, my grandson is already asking me if he can have a piece. So after I cut this up and get a piece out, me and him sit down and have a piece. And it always comes out of the pan real easy as well. My shadowing is kind of dark right there, but that is it. You can see how the orange jello goes down in those holes. Thumbs up. It's super, super good. And there's that. Please like and subscribe and share it with your friends. And thanks for watching.